Hey guys, this is Fergal from PokerVIP. Welcome back to part 2 of our 20NL cash game series over on Winner Poker. This is going to follow the exact same format as episode 1. We're going to be playing 2 tables of 20NL. I'll be talking through my thought process as we go, and hopefully we will find ourselves in some interesting spots as we go through it. 7-8 suited, don't mind taking it down there pre. And Ace-King, we will be bumping it up with a 3-bet. From Param Pam Ump. We'd be defending here pretty wide versus a 4x though. When he's a short stacker, Queen 7 isn't going to cut it. Versus a smaller open there, we would have been defending. Pocket Queens, sight for sore eyes. This guy just rips it in. I mean, we're calling. Let's hold. Let's hold. Nice. Nice. Bit of a wild just rip it in there, blind versus blind, for whatever, 21 euro, I think effective stacks were there. People gonna punt, eh? People gonna punt. Getting a walk with the jacks, definitely not what we wanted. We're going to fire here and hopefully get this through. And the short stacker calls, we're in a bit of a quandary here now. This is a card normally I'd be all over double barreling, but when this guy is short and he does check call, I'm just going to assume he's going to have a hand he's going to continue with more often than not. So we're going to check this back and try to realize our equity. He has the 5 and the tray. Not the kind of hand I was expecting to see there at all. Shows how much of a solid read I have on this pool, eh? Classic. A7 suited, we're going to defend in position here. This guy raises it up. He raises it up quite small, which is actually really, really annoying for this kind of hand. We are going to fold. If this guy calls, we'll probably call and see a flop. But yeah, when this, he's showing a decent amount of strength. Ace-7 is just going to be performing pretty poorly against his overall range. He's going to have a lot of better Ace-X here than us. We'll have okay-ish equity against a lot of his pocket pairs and stuff like that. But yeah, our reverse, even when we flop an ace, we're still not all that happy. So it's just one of those spots where there's very few we're looking to flop too strongly, basically, first to want to get all of the money in there. But it's the spot where if we do flop an ace, it's kind of hard to fold, given that he's short as well, and it's a 3-bet pot. So it's just one of those spots where it's just a really annoying one to deal with on most flops. Barring, you know, the ace-7. That's a pretty good flop, obviously. Taking it down with the ace-9, not too shabby. We'll see a multi-way pot here with a semi-connected suited hand. We flop a gut shot, and we have the backdoor flush draw to go along with it. Might actually check raise here, depending on this guy's sizing. I wasn't planning on folding here, but when this guy just rips it in, like, what are we going to do? We're not planning on calling that anyway, that's for sure. That is for sure. We've been seeing some pretty wild things in this pool, that has to be said. Like, some really wild things. Like, I mean, it's 20NL. You see a lot of wild things, but this has been eye-opening. We flop a pair. Well, sorry, we flop 2 pair technically. We flop 2 pair technically. Seven-5 offsuit. We aren't planning on doing too much here. I guess we are going to limp. We're getting 5-1. It does kind of suck being completely out of position, but I guess it doesn't suck so much when you just flop the Nutter Butters. And we get no action at all. The reason I wanted to check back there is that I don't think that that's a board people are going to be just betting with air, ever. So I don't think we miss out too much, but they are going to have a lot of hands that they're going to want to check back and pot control with, like single pair hands and stuff like that, and a multi-way pot. So I wanted to lead out and start building ones straight away. I figured that was our best chance of getting all the money in, because it was a limp pot. Even though the guys are short, if we wanted to get all the money in, we needed to start building a pot early. And I don't think that that's a board that they're going to be betting with hands that aren't going to be calling a wager too frequently. So that was my rationale there. Obviously it does suck when we get the folds through, but we're greedy. We wanted to stack one of the shorties there. We didn't want to just you know, get two streets of small value in a limped pot. We wanted to look to build it all. All mine decides to flat from the short stack. He donks small. We're gonna call with our ace high. This is a pretty bad turn for us. I mean, we call again, obviously. He bets 20 cents into like €2 or whatever it was before that. Let's see, I want to see what he's doing this with. He is doing it as a bluff. That is very valuable to know. So, all mine 1-2-1. We will not forget that. That is for sure. It's always important to know, like those kinds of weird lines. It's really important to know what people do that with. This is a really annoying spot because I saw this guy like just he was a lot shorter at the time, but like he jammed in like €7 or €8 with like I think it was 8-7 off suit pre. So like I'd be happy. I'd be just snap folding here. I'm gonna call versus this guy. Yeah, he's just wild. Oh my god. Oh my god. What can we do? What can we do to win? What can we do to win, guys? Why have I not topped up yet? That seems like something I should have done. How does one top up? I haven't played on iPoker in quite some time. We have the ace-8 versus the ace-9, so we have another dominating scenario, and let's just have a hold, but we get the chop instead. Classic. Now, I just paused the video just for a quick second there while I figured out how to top up my stack, which we have successfully managed to do. It's actually very obvious. It was just this little red chip up here. I thought that was just a symbol for the cashier though, so my bad. My bad. Top pair, let's have a bet. We get raised here on this board, which is interesting. He's repping sets and pretty much sets only. He has the bloof. And over on the left table, we are going to have to call a river bet here versus an aggressive player. We still beat ace queen, we beat ace jack, we beat his hearts, so we're happy to check down and take the showdown. He has the queen 10 of the hearts, so he had a lot of equity there in the flop, of course. I don't think that we're going to be able to get that through very often as a bluff versus that particular player. So I think for this session we're up a little bit, I think. We lost the big flip with the ace jack versus the ridiculous jam. We did win with the queens versus the jacks though. So that was, they kind of cancelled each other out. And so yeah, I think we're up like roughly €5, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but in that kind of ballpark. I think we're definitely up though, that's the main thing. We're going to call down here again versus this player with our nut no pair. He got the value bet through with the trays. This guy's name is Bullshit Punter. That's pretty good. The 9-10, we will bring it in for a cheeky little steal from the cutoff, and we're definitely opening Queen 8 from the button. We just get it ripped in behind us for the €8. There's so much just overbet jamming in this game, it's crazy. I really love this guy's name, Bullshit Punter. It's just so funny. Usually places like don't have some sort of filtering system in place, so they don't let that sort of stuff through. Queen 4 with the diamonds here. We're not planning on investing any money really. If we manage to bink the offsuit jack, we will, but we're not planning on doing anything too funky here at any point. I'm not surprised this guy didn't bet his hand at any point there. Seems like he probably should have. Seems like he probably should have. We're happy enough to open the suited connectors, blind versus blind, and the king and the jack offsuit we're definitely opening as well. Flop top pair. Going to start this off with a check call. Now it's a case of do we want to turn our hand into a bluff now? I don't think we do. The pocket tens doesn't bet the turn, which is just bizarre to me. I mean, obviously, sure, there's a flush there, but I don't know. I think not betting the turn there is just crazy. And maybe our bluff gets through if we do elect to lead there. But as I said, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm like we do still have like a reasonable amount of showdown there, so we don't necessarily need to turn our hand into a bluff. Pocket queens versus an aggressive player here. We're taking our blockers here, and we are just gonna go with it. We're all in, sir. He called us with the ace and the 9. It's an aggressive call. We hold though. Like if he's calling with ace 9 there, then our jam is pretty awful. But it worked out for us, so we're not going to mind too much. And we were due a little bit of luck there. We were due to win an all-in for sure. Pretty surprised to see a call there with ace 9. Like obviously I'm going to have a lot of dominating hands there as well. He's going to have like, you know, I'm also going to be jamming a lot of like, you know, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, stuff like that, which he has like 30% equity against, but it seems like a pretty aggressive call. The ace deuce, blind versus blind. We just take it down without a fight, and we're going to be folding the ace deuce from under the gun. Sorry, excuse me. Any ace from the button, we're absolutely going to be bringing it in. If Param Pup decides to open himself, we would be folding. Donaldinho goes for the call, and hopefully we don't get raised. We do not. I think this is a board that we are going to fire. people behave reasonably honestly in multi-way pots, so I don't expect anyone to be getting out of line and, like, you know, raising me as a bluff here or anything like that. So we can fire one and done here pretty comfortably. We'll check back. We'll value bet if we bink an ace, which we do. Interesting. We'll bet small. Try to get called by like king queen, king 10, stuff like that. And we turn the open ender here. We're going to have a lead, and we take it down without a fight. Pocket nines, obviously bringing this in. We get 3-bet exceptionally small. The only thing I was thinking about there was whether I wanted to just re-raise and get it in pre or not. I'm going to bet here again, make sure that we're charging his kind of ace-high floats, and we're happy to check back the river now. Glad we didn't re-raise, get it in anyway. If this goes multi-way, we'll call and take a flop. If it does not, we will fold. Do 6, not many scenarios where we're going to see a flop here. 0 scenarios now. We are likely to defend here with the queen and the 9 though. The question is whether we want to defend with the 3-bet or not. I think we do. If it was suited, I'd be more inclined to call and take a flop because it flops that bit better. But when it's unsuited, we are just going to look to take it down without a fight pre. Pretty okay flop for the 6s. We flop the gut shot. We still have our pair. Don't know too much about this guy. We haven't really seen him in the pool too much. He goes nice and small. We are certainly going to see a turn. This should shut him down with his overpairs, which is kind of nice, unless he has the, with half his overpairs. The half that do not include the flush draw. And even if he has like jacks with the flush draw, I'm not too sure he's going to be, you know, barreling huge with that. So, now is the question. Do we want to continue here? I don't think we do. We're happy to let that one go. When he does follow through, and he goes quite large, I'm happy to let that one go. Because we can definitely have flushes there. So when he's out of position and he just decides to bet quite large, he's wrapping like a lot of strength. So if he doesn't already have the flush, I think he's going to have a flush draw very frequently, and it'll be quite nutted. And against those kinds of hands, it's just we're never going to be able to win it as a bluff realistically. And it's very, very hard for him to be like, I mean, maybe he's doing that with a hand like ace king with just the flush draw, with like the lone flush draw, but in general, he's showing a lot of strength there, and we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I'm happy to let that one go. Getting some action with the 10-jack suited, and we take it down with the pocket 2s. Flop middle pair, and start this off with the check. That's a really bad turn for us. That is a really bad turn for us. We're just going to check fold. That is not really an ideal flop at all. That is far from an ideal flop for us. On both tables, actually. We don't really tend to fold our big blinds to min raises too frequently, so Queen 7 is going to be good enough to defend. We flop a pair, so we're going to see a turn. I'm actually going to see if we can get away with just a really cheap steal here versus this guy. We do not. We don't have that much showdown there on that board, and it's like we don't have that many ways to improve to a hand that we were happy to play for any sort of reasonable amount of money either. So by betting small there on that board, when he's short stacked, it kind of forces him to commit. So he's either in for his whole stack or he's out. And I think when he does check, I think we do get a reasonable number of folds. I think it's worth taking the small stab. And here we just have all of the equity in the world, so we're just going to go for the check raise and not fold. That's nice. No extra spade, please. So I've kind of lost track of where we're at with this video. It's been a bit of a wild one. I'm not sure if we are up or down or where we're at. Pretty good flop over on the right table, obviously. We're going to go for the check raise. As strong as it looks, we're still going to go for it. There are only action killers really for us. We pick up an extra euro by allowing the shorter stack to bet and the larger stack to come along for the call. As I said, calling there, it definitely has some merit, but there's only, you know, our hand can only get worse, basically. So by check calling, we allow action killers to roll off. If someone has a hand like, you know, say if someone has an overpair, like, you know, although it was a limp pot, so those kinds of hands are kind of tricky. But even if someone has, like, you know, ace-7 there with, like, top pair, top kicker or something like that, there's only, like, it puts them in an annoying spot. Now, if they're in any way okay, if they're in any way decent, they'll be able to make that fold. But, like, you know, people can be doing that with heart draws and stuff like that as well. So it's not, like, you know, a completely trivial fold with single pair hands. It just puts them in an annoying spot. Raise it up with the ace and the king. Obviously happy to get it in versus this guy. We're going to defend our button here. This guy's an annoying stack depth. I didn't really want to 3-bet him. I'm happy enough to, he's just about got enough where I'm happy enough to call and see a flop. Wow, we've been flopping some really, really strong straights today, guys. Actually just going to click it back on this guy. Oh wow, this guy's coming along for the call, which is interesting. That's interesting. Just gonna bet big and hope he has the ace, I guess. Really interested as to what this guy had there. It seems nothing really makes sense to me there. Seems a bit wild. I'm gonna size this, like, basically I'm kind of turning my hand sort of face up here, but I'm allowing this guy to rejam, and then that guy can potentially call. He doesn't. But that was my logic. I kind of assumed that this guy would be all in pre more often than not, and that kind of puts this guy in an annoying spot. Whereas if he didn't realize just how nutted my raise looks, he might make the call, and then I can back raise over him. Hopefully he just has a hand like pocket 8s or pocket 9s. This guy just has the king and the 4. Wow. Solid play, sir. Solid play. There has just been some wild play all around today so far, and somehow we're still down for the day. We're definitely up for this video. We must be up for this video. I'm just not sure how much exactly. We lost a lot in part 1 though, so that was the problem. So overall, we've gotten lucky in a couple of spots, so we can't just cry foul the whole way. But we got it in a couple of big spots where we didn't hold. Notably, I just remember getting in Ace Jack versus Ace Deuce pre for the 100 bigs, and he just binks the deuce straight away in the flop. Do we want to go with this? I think we do. He has the Ace-6. Ship it. So overall, I have to say my perceptions of this pool not good. As I said, I mean, I've lost, so I can't comment too much, but I'm definitely happy with how I'm playing, and I'm positive that I'm beating this pool for a fairly decent clip from what I've seen so far. So we're going to be putting in some more volume on this side for sure. We're going to wager here with our good shot. We can fold out all of the underpairs here pretty much close to 100% of the time, I think. Like if he has like 5s, 6s, 7s, stuff like that, that can definitely play this way. And if we do get called, we still have 4 clean outs to the Nutter Butters. There's a possible flush draw there now, but I'm not overly concerned. It's a case of whether I want to continue barreling or not here. I think we're happy to check this one back. Pocket jacks. That is a tight flat call, Sir Pre. Maybe we get the job done there with the double barrel versus jacks. As I said, when he does check call though, I didn't think he would be calling with. I didn't think he was gonna have that strong of an overpair. I guess it doesn't really matter though. I was expecting him to fold out all of his underpairs in a 3-bet pot there when he's out of position. But obviously I was incorrect in that assessment. But when he does check call, he's gonna have hands like some Queen X. I mean, some straight draws, I guess, like hands like 10 Jack and stuff like that, maybe. But I think in my head he was gonna be weighted more so towards hands like, you know, King Jack, King 10, stuff like that. The deuce and the 9, we're gonna let that one go. King 8 though, we will defend. Barring some ridiculous overbet jam, of course. I don't mind if this guy just gives us the walk either, obviously. Our c-bets have not been successful today. We have not been getting many c-bets through on the flop at all. We're in an annoying spot here now if this guy bets, because we're beating all of his flush draws, right? So he's repping a jack and a jack only. I still think we're going to fold, but we're getting bluffed there some percentage of the time, definitely. Pocket queens, blind versus blind. We're going to bring this in for a 3-bet if he opens, which he does. Ace in the window, not what we wanted to see. I'm going to start this off with a check back. We're going to check one more street, and we're going to bet rivers if he checks to us a 3rd time. And if he leads, we just call. Hoping to get called by hands like, you know, King Jack, stuff like that there. Alright guys, that has been me. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed what you see. and I will be back again with more videos for PokerVIP very soon. Thank you very much. Take care, guys. And as always, if you have any questions, queries, comments, anything like that, any of the hands that we've played, feel free to leave them in the relevant social media on PokerVIP directly or over on YouTube, whatever. I do check the forums reasonably often, so I'll endeavour to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, guys. Take care and have a great day.